Good evening. A day after his arrest in the liquor scam in the national capital, the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was produced before the Rouse Avenue court, where the Enforcement Directorate argued that he was the kingpin and the co-conspirator. They've applied for 10-day custody. The proceedings in the lower court came after Mr Kejriwal's lawyers withdrew his petition in the Supreme Court, choosing instead to work the lower court system. In his first remarks since he was arrested, Mr Kejriwal said that his life was dedicated to the nation.
अरविंद सर कुछ कहना है, कोई संदेश सर?
मेरा जीवन देश के लिए समर्पित है और चाहे अंदर हो या बाहर.
Calm and collected after his first night in custody. This is Kejriwal's lieutenants took their toughest existential battle to the streets. A beleaguered Aam Aadmi Party left without its patriarch is now fighting for survival. The arrest of the Chief Minister, a first in the history of Indian politics, has set in motion a chain of events that changes the landscape completely ahead of the big general elections. With the party's national boss, its star campaigner and the principal vote catcher in ED's custody, all eyes now on his number 2 and fellow campaigner to take over the reins of the party. Hours after the Delhi Chief Minister's dramatic late-night arrest, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann met Arvind Kejriwal's wife Sunita and his ministers in Delhi.
मुझे ये बता दीजिए टाइमिंग क्या है? ये क्या चाहते हैं? विपक्ष का कोई भी नेता इस इलेक्शन में चुनाव प्रचार ना कर पाए. ये इलेक्शन छीनना चाहते हैं. तो ये भी तो पुतिन के रास्ते पर ही चल रहे हैं फिर. ये डिक्टेटरशिप है.
From behind bars, Arvind Kejriwal managed to bring together bickering opposition leaders who condemned the arrest in one voice, calling it the murder of democracy. In a rare show of solidarity, leaders from across opposition parties went knocking on the doors of the Election Commission against what they called the deliberate targeting of leaders.
75 वर्ष में पहली बार एक पदासीन मुख्यमंत्री को कल रात को गिरफ्तार किया गया है. हमने एक सूची दी 11 और हाल के रीसेंट उदाहरण. पुराने उदाहरण तो सैकड़ों हैं. वो 11 के 11 एनसीपी से लेकर टीएमसी से लेकर कांग्रेस से लेकर विपक्ष के हर पार्टी पे है जहां पर एजेंसीज का दुरुपयोग हुआ है, गिरफ्तारी हुई है. लेकिन एक भी उदाहरण नहीं है सत्तारूढ़ पार्टी का.
Less than a month to go for the Lok Sabha polls, an unprecedented constitutional crisis in Delhi with the capital's chief minister under arrest. Anticipating the arrest, however, Kejriwal had handed over almost all the key ministries to party firebrand Atishi and trusted aide Saurabh Bharadwaj, who are now in charge of running New Delhi.
एक ऐसा केस जिसमें 2 साल में 1 रुपए की रिकवरी नहीं हुई है, उसमें आपने एक सिटिंग चीफ मिनिस्टर को बिना किसी सबूत के गिरफ्तार कर लिया है, वो भी चुनाव की घोषणा के बाद. आप ये बताइए कि अभी राउज एवेन्यू कोर्ट में, दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट में इन समन्स की लीगैलिटी की जांच चल रही थी. क्या ये समन्स कानूनी है कि गैर कानूनी?
The opposition's reaction to this arrest of Arvind Kejriwal is absolutely mystifying and is extremely ironic, because a person who was given a notice by the Enforcement Directorate, which is a law enforcement agency, 4 times and chooses to ignore it, and despite the court going to court and the court not upholding his plea that he be let out of this investigation, even then 4 times Arvind Kejriwal has ignored the ED notice to appear for investigating this alcohol bribery corruption scam, and now to act as if it is some sort of a shock and surprise.
For a man who started his journey in politics with a crusade against corruption, Kejriwal's arrest is the biggest dent to his party's Kattar Imandar image, on which the Aam Aadmi Party was founded over 10 years ago at the iconic Ramleela Maidan. With Arvind Kejriwal in custody, the Chief Minister's residence has been turned into a fortress. Arvind Kejriwal, remember, has managed to defeat the BJP in Delhi more than once and conquer 2 states in just a matter of few years. Well, while the charges against him are serious, the fact that one of the BJP's strongest political rivals has been arrested days before polls raises serious questions. In New Delhi with camera person Prem Singh, Vedant for NDTV.
All right, sir, let's just quickly go across to Vedant Agarwal, who you just saw there. Breaking news coming in. Arvind Kejriwal has been sent to custody. Vedant, what are the details?
That's right, Vishnu. Arvind Kejriwal has been sent to a 7-day custody. Any moment now, Arvind Kejriwal would be taken out from the Rouse Avenue Court to the Enforcement Directorate headquarters. It's about 4 kilometers from this place, and he has been sent to a 7-day custody. Remember, the Enforcement Directorate had asked for a 10-day custody, but usually in matters pertaining to the Money Laundering Act, the court prefers a 7-day custody because remember, the Enforcement Directorate had made arguments about how they want to confront him with evidence, with witnesses, with statements from witnesses and approvers in this particular case, which is why they need a 10-day custody. But the court deciding on a 7-day custody. This is, of course, a senior police official leaving the Enforcement Directorate headquarters and leaving the Rouse Avenue Court. And now Arvind Kejriwal's motorcade will also, leave the Rouse Avenue Court in just a short while from now. Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi had made compelling arguments about how this is unconstitutional and how just having a power to arrest does not mean that the agencies go out to arrest each and every opposition leader. But for now, the big breaking is that Arvind Kejriwal has been sent to a 7-day custody. He will now be taken to the Enforcement Directorate headquarters from the Rouse Avenue Court.
Now, Preeti Sharma Menon of the Aam Aadmi Party, Nikhil Mehra joins us, Amitabh Tiwari, Ajoy Kumar of the Congress and Shazia Ilmi of the BJP. Preeti, the allegation made by the Enforcement Directorate is that Arvind Kejriwal was directly involved in the implementation of the policy. He is the kingmaker in this entire alleged scam, and that there was a certain amount of money which the Aam Aadmi Party received, which illegally went towards other functions such as funding your Goa campaign. How would you respond?
I think that it is very clear to the nation today that the ED is an arm of the BJP and 95% of its cases are against opposition leaders. And the moment those opposition leaders decide to join the BJP, the ED closes the cases. As we've seen in Maharashtra in the case of Chhagan Bhujbal, we've seen it in the case of Ajit Pawar. They lose the files, they close the case. So if Arvind Kejriwal were to join the BJP tomorrow, obviously this case would be closed. There has not been a rupee found in the so-called liquor conspiracy. So this entire scam is entirely designed to somehow bring down the Aam Aadmi Party, which is the fastest growing party in India today, the third largest party. And it is shocking that when the model code of conduct has been announced, at such a time, they go after the leader of India's third largest party. It is shocking that a sitting chief minister has been arrested and the PMLA laws have been changed to suit the convenience of the BJP and keep opposition leaders in jail for an infinite period of time till such time as, some Mr. Baghel or Mr. Ajit Pawar or Mr. Narayan.
All right, but to the specific question, in fact, Preeti, you're just making one point that there is no evidence which has been found. But in fact, the ED has said, and I quote, "We've examined the money trail. The money in Goa came through 4 routes. These allegations are also corroborated by one of the Aam Aadmi Party's candidates. This person was paid in cash."
Everything that the BJP, that the ED has claimed is only statements made by approvers. And we've seen the approvers. The moment somebody is accused and then they donate large amounts of money to the BJP through electoral bonds, they are then immediately released and they become approvers. So the whole case of ED rests on such approvers who have had some kind of quid pro quo relationship with the BJP.
All right, that's an allegation. Let me get a reaction from Shazia Ilmi.
There is no other proof. There is not a single
Shazia,
other
would you
proof
like to
in the
respond to
entire
that? People turning approver on the pressure of the BJP is the allegation. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Vishnu, that's all you get to hear, like a rehearsed speech, like a stuck record. There are no answers whatsoever when specifics are asked for, which is exactly what ED is saying and proving. Whether it's money trail or the forensic evidence or the destruction of evidence or the phone call between Samir Mahendru through Vijay Nair to Arvind Kejriwal, to the meeting of K. Kavita and the South Group, to being given 9 zones out of 31 zones, to the entire confabulation and formulation of the policy, which was later tweaked and then retracted. And not just that, for the profiteering that was done, where the wholesale profit was increased to 12% and 185 90% to the loss to the exchequer because of the increased sale and consumption of liquor, and despite that, a huge revenue
There was no loss to the exchequer at all.
No answers to any of that. Indus Perez, Vijay Nair, Samir Mahindru, Amit Arora, Sharad Reddy. No answers whatsoever. BJP. Narayan Rane, Suvindu Adhikari. This is one rehearsed speech when it comes to the actual corruption in the party, and it's rotten to the core. Rotten to the core. That is what this lady here represents. These people are so corrupt, and the fact of the matter is it was born out of an anti-corruption movement. It's a matter of shame that earlier we protested and we went all over against corruption, and now this party and its people are going for
and
corruption.
And now Shazia Ilmi has embraced Ajit
Menon,
Pawar,
would you like to
which is
respond
a
before I go to my
nationally
other
corrupt party.
panelists? Just briefly
For the
respond. Yes.
scandals.
Yes, please.
Shazia,
Yes,
half
please.
a second, yeah.
Shazia Ilmi and her party have embraced every person that they have so far called corrupt. And I'm telling you, tomorrow, if we say we want to join the BJP like Shazia did, they will immediately accept them. They will accept anybody who's ready to join the BJP as long as you are ready to puppet what they say, as long as you are ready to be corrupt with them. Let's come down to the liquor scam. She made a false accusation over here that there was a loss to the exchequer.
Okay, one sec, Shazia, let us speak.
Increased revenues when the excise policy was enforced.
Don't derail the topic.
Because of the central government.
All right, both of you, just 1 second. Both of you, let me go across to my other panelists. I can't hear either of you. Let me just go across to Nikhil Mehra. Nikhil, one of the points. Okay, hang on. Both of you, they're fighting, so I can't hear. Let me go across to Nikhil Mehra. No, but you are interrupting. Shazia, hold on 1 second. I'll come back to both of you. Let there be some peace in the interim period. Nikhil, let me come across to you. One of the points which has been made in the defense of Arvind Kejriwal is, and this is what Abhishek Singhvi said in quote, that there is a pattern, there is a witness who doesn't name Arvind Kejriwal in earlier questioning in the initial statement or the second statement. That person is then arrested, his bail is opposed vehemently, and that person ends up being an approver and ends up giving what Singhvi called a brilliant statement. Is this a fact?
Whether it's a fact or not, I wouldn't know. I haven't examined exactly what the remand order is. None of us have. But I think what Mr. Singhvi was adhering to is that the evidence of an approver is generally regarded as weak evidence. But you have to balance this with something else, which is that when you look at a conspiracy is generally proved by approvers, that is by members of that particular conspiracy. There are only a limited number of people who will be in the know of all elements of the conspiracy, and so therefore that kind of information does come from within. But this is an ED case, and in an ED case you eventually have to establish a trail of funds, and so perhaps that is the thing that will emerge more tomorrow. Because let's remember one thing: the Supreme Court had denied Manish Sisodia bail, right? But at that point in time, the existence of the 100 crores going back to the Aam Aadmi Party for their Goa election, that was still under investigation. One of the primary reasons why it was allowed, or why his bail was denied, was the 338 crores that was deemed to be the excess profit made by private liquor sellers, wholesalers, was deemed to be proceeds of crime. And that there were various conspiracies that were hatched in terms of a 65% market share for just 2 retailers, with a 20% market share for another 14 to 15 retailers. This was a substantial deviation in policy and suggested, therefore, that there would be a substantial kickback. So I think if they are going after Arvind Kejriwal now, it is perhaps in his status as the head of the Aam Aadmi Party. And the kingpin status that they are alluding to will be both as chief minister within the government and also his status within the party.
Okay.
Which means that they must have produced more evidence in relation to the 100 crores in relation to the Goa election.
Ajoy Kumar, every political party, not least of all the Congress, at some stage or the other fights on an anti-corruption plank. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party is, a party which you're working fairly closely with, certainly in the Delhi context. You're looking at unity within the India Bloc, as it were. But the allegations are fairly strong. The allegation is that the total proceeds of the alleged crime, according to the ED, exceeds 600 crores. That's 100 crores apparently paid to the Southern Group, which includes K. Kavita, who was arrested last week, the TRS leader. Given the gravity of these charges, how do you actually say that, these are trumped up? Because there are lots of specifics which the ED has said. And so therefore, how do you keep supporting and endorsing the Aam Aadmi Party in this situation?
So Vishnu, the same question would be to you also, that how do you keep not doing a TV show on the electoral bonds?
I did 3 shows on the electoral bonds. 3 of them, my friend.
You're interrupting me like Shazia, so let me come. The fact is, Vedanta, there was a raid, there is an electoral bond. Grassing, there is a raid. So the joke, I'm hearing all the panelists. If you want to have an honest thing, raid happens, money given to BJP, Utkal, Grasim, Hetero, 18,000 crores. So Mr. Modi will be the first person when this government goes down, who is the kingpin of the corruption. ED does raid and gets money. So if you're having the same barometers, which you're saying that there is a kingpin and money was extorted, then what was the Enforcement Director doing apart from enforced? No, Shazia, let me complete, madam. I'm saying if you have this high moral state of saying that there is a money trail, there is a direct money trail for the Bharatiya Janata Party and the raid with Utkal Cement and Grasim and Hetero. Companies which sold expired drugs, Glenmark, were raided, no raid anymore, money given. Okay, and the important question, Vishnu, as a most enlightened anchor, what happened to Glenmark after selling spurious medicine? Was there any action? There was a donation, no action. Remdesivir manufacturers who looted the people of India, there was a raid, ED raided, drug enforcement raided. After that, no action.
No, but are you suggesting that no action in a previous case should mean that there shouldn't be action over here?
I'm suggesting. One second, let me come. I did
Shazia, half a second. Shazia, hold on, I'll come to you next.
Shazia came from the Congress party.
Shazia, I'll come to you next. Let him have 1 or 2 more sentences.
Going and throwing Ajay Markan under the bus.
No, Shazia, we can't do it like, we can't have this sort of a fight. Hold on 1 sec. I promise I'll come to you next. Go ahead, just finish your point, Ajoy.
Shazia was a very well-mannered person before she joined the Bharatiya Janata Party. The question again...
That's a pot shot, that's unfair, and she's still very well-mannered. Now, carry on, Ajoy.
Okay. It's a different Shazia I'm speaking to of late, but anyway, I take no personal thing. My question is very simple. The country has to know that I agree with what Preeti said, is where is the recovery? I heard one of my colleagues before this speak that there must be money. You tell me, sir, 3 convictions in the ED cases in the past 10 years, 3 convictions out of 5,700 cases. The problem is you're becoming Putin's Russia, and all opposition leaders will become Alexei Navalny. And then there will be nobody to weep for this country, because this is what, I want to ask the ED record on this TV channel, 3 convictions, sir, and we are believing that the devil of ED is preaching the scriptures. No, madam, let me complete. 3 convictions, 10 years, you contradict me on that.
All right, one second. Shazia, go ahead, reply to that. Yes. Ajoy, you made your point. Let Shazia reply. Yes, go ahead, Shazia.
Friend who is still very well mannered, despite the fact that he's continued to be in the Congress party, stays here and throws his colleague Ajay Markan under a bus, who was busy sitting next to Rahul Gandhi, talking about electoral bonds. And it is the same Ajay Markan who actually talked about the excise policy first. It is in fact Anil Chaudhary of Congress party who actually brought this to light, and the entire excise policy scam was brought to light by the Congress party, something they were very, very proud of. So while they will use it in Punjab, they will actually now, I don't know whether Ajay has more interest in Delhi, but the fact of the matter is that it was taken up by the LG on the complaint of a Congress member and not the BJP. So this is just to point out a few facts. Might have missed out on Mr. Well-mannered Ajoy ji.
Okay.
Secondly,
yes.
Talking about Putin and all of that, these are courts. The courts have refused bail to Manish Sisodia, the Sessions Court, the High Court, the Supreme Court, and not once but many times. The curative plea was dismissed. So you're saying the courts also come under the BJP, and the same courts have given bail to your leaders, Sonia Gandhi, P. Chidambaram, Rahul Gandhi, and this is the same court and the same ED and the same CBI and the same system has not, the same ecosystem has not given bail to
Okay, I get the point you're making. Let me just go across to Amitabh Tiwari. Amitabh, what happens now as far as Arvind Kejriwal is concerned? Is it incumbent upon him to step down as Chief Minister, because at some stage would he not have to do that?
See, essentially, Aam Aadmi Party has categorically stated that he would not step down as Chief Minister because he continues to be an MLA. He is not disqualified and not convicted yet. Legally, perhaps tenable, but in the spirit of law and constitution, and as an ethical and moral question, perhaps he should step down. Now we'll have to see whether the LG intervenes here, because the LG and the Aam Aadmi Party do not share a very great rapport. So whether the LG intervenes here, whether the Home Ministry intervenes here, because as we have been reading in reports that he ultimately is also a public servant. So we'll have to wait and see how things fold out. Because the battle now is, of course, in the judiciary, where the Aam Aadmi Party, despite making some strong points or arguments, somehow the courts are either not accepting these arguments, or the evidence which is being presented by ED is...
All right, Amitabh, I'm just interrupting you now. We are getting some reactions coming in on the developments in court with Arvind Kejriwal. Smriti Irani speaking. Let's listen in.
केजरीवाल के वकीलों ने नहीं किया. एक और तथ्य, बुच्ची बाबू, सीए ऑफ मिस के कविता, 23 फरवरी 2023 उन्होंने स्वयं ये स्टेटमेंट दिया कि विजय नायर, जिनको अरविंद केजरीवाल अपना माय बॉय कहकर संबोधित कर चुके थे, उन्होंने शराब के इस घोटाले के संदर्भ में ये ऑफर दिया कि कुछ पॉलिसी में ऐसा बदलाव हो सकता है जिससे कि कविता को मुनाफा हो. मात्र ये स्टेटमेंट नहीं है. कोर्ट में बुच्ची बाबू जो सीए हैं के कविता के, उनके व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस भी उपलब्ध हैं, ऐसा कोर्ट के सम्मुख कहा गया. तब भी अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के वकीलों ने इस स्टेटमेंट का और स्टेटमेंट से संबद्ध व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस का खंडन नहीं किया. सार्वजनिक रूप से दस्तावेज जो उपलब्ध हैं, उसमें कोर्ट में जांच एजेंसी ने कहा कि अरविंद केजरीवाल ने घूस मांगी साउथ ग्रुप से. उसके संदर्भ में श्री एमएस रेड्डी का बयान पिछले साल का 6/7/2023 और 17/7/2023 स्पष्ट रूप से लिखा था कि अरविंद केजरीवाल ने सेक्रेटेरिएट के अपने ऑफिस में 16 दिसंबर 2021 शाम 4:30 बजे मिलने का समय दिया.
Smriti Irani speaking over there. The Aam Aadmi Party's senior leader Atishi also responding, reacting to all of this. Let's listen in.
ईडी के द्वारा केस करवाए जाते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि इस देश में पीएमएलए एक ऐसा कानून है जिसके तहत बेल मिलना लगभग असंभव है. हमने देखा है कि किस तरह एक के बाद एक विपक्ष के सारे नेताओं पर ईडी के माध्यम से पीएमएलए पर केस करवाए जाते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी ईडी के माध्यम से चुनाव को जीतना चाहती है.
All right, so the war of words continuing between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. Arvind Kejriwal, that's the big development in the last 30 minutes, has been sent to 7 days of ED custody. I'd like to thank my panelists very much for joining us. We're out of time at this stage. We'll take a short break, come back with the very latest.